Okay, today we're going to be talking about perception and how our brain actually processes the sensory information that we get. And that's what perception is. It's what allows us to organize and make sense of our sensory impressions. And we see cues throughout the universe that we're living in that help us perceive movement and motion. Closure is the tendency to perceive a complete or whole figure even when there are gaps in what your senses tell you. And again, you'll see pictures of this. And figure ground is a perception of figures against a background. And this can be visual, this can be auditory. Our brains use this figure ground perception all the time. You know, we can tune out other people and listen to one person that's right in front of us, and that's the figure where everybody else is the ground. Or when you look at a picture, the people that are focused on in the picture, that's the figure, the background is the ground. So here's the concept of closure. Here's figure ground. If you're looking at this, you see like a candlestick, but if you look at the blue and focus on the blue, then you see two faces. Again, other rules of organization. Proximity is the nearness of objects or figures to one another. The law of similarity says that people think of similar objects as belonging together. The law of continuity says that people usually prefer to see smooth, continuous patterns rather than disrupted ones. And the law of common fate says that people assume things have the same person when they're part of the same group, actually. We perceive movement in everything. We need to see an object change its position relative to other objects to perceive movement, but we do see it in everything. Stroboscopic motion, the perfect example is a movie. It's like a little flip book, you know. The more each image changes, just very tiny changes, but when they're played in a consecutive order and they're played quickly, we see motion. Monocular cues are this idea that you only need one eye to see it. Monocular clues include perspective, clearness, overlap, shadow, and texture gradient, and then motion parallax. And this is the tendency of objects to seem to move forward or backward depending on how far away they are from the viewer. Binocular cues need both eyes, and retinal disparity is a binocular cue for perceiving depth. And how this works is it's based on the difference between the two images of an object that the retina receives as the object moves closer. And convergence is a binocular cue associated with feelings of tension in the eye muscles. So here's your monocular cues. You can see texture, you can see overlap, you can also see shadowing. All of these are constancies, and it basically says that size and shape, all of these are learned through experience. The size and shape, no matter what angle you look at an object from, we still know that a door is a door or a table is a table, for example. Color constancy, we know things that are still colorful even if we know things that are the same color even if their surroundings change. And brightness constancy is the same thing. We know how bright something is regardless of its surroundings and how well we can perceive the brightness at that time. And here's a good example of brightness constancy. We know that this is the same color gray. It just looks brighter over here on the black background. And the two most common visual illusions are the Mueller-Lyer illusion and the Ponzo illusion. And that's it. Thanks, guys.